What is up, geeks? So today I have another oversized figure review. This time it's a quarter scale figure. Last time was a 1/6 scale Iron Man Power Pose Hot Toys figure. This is a NECA Thor the Dark World figure, and this thing is huge. And I'm going to do some more NECA figure reviews. This is just the beginning. I have 3 more that I plan to do. 3 or 4-ish. We'll see, but I have more than a couple to do, so get ready for those and stay tuned for that. But if you haven't seen the Iron Man 1/6 scale figure review, please check that out. That was my last video. So this time it's Thor, and let's take a close look at this box first, and then we'll get into the figure. So it has a nice window package, and you can already see how detailed this figure is. Amazing detail, but we'll get into that once we open it up. So it says Thor the Dark World with the Marvel logo. Now this thing is really heavy. This is, like I said, a NECA figure, so you can see their logo there, NECAonline.com. It's just the top of the box. So as you can see, my setup for reviews had to change with these larger figures, you know. So if you don't like the background, I apologize, but you know, these are very difficult to review, being that they're bigger. But I wanted to definitely show this to you guys because this thing is, you know, this is awesome. This thing looks so cool. So it looks like both sides have the same image, and then the back another image with his hammer. Now if you guys want to read it, you can pause right here. Then again, we have Thor the Dark World logo. So this is the second Thor movie installment, and I figured that I would review this guy first, being that his movie is coming up pretty soon, Thor Ragnarok, and I'm very excited for that. So let's open this bad boy up. Alright guys, so we finally have Thor out of the package, and this guy is a monster. He's huge. Now the big unfortunate thing about this is that, you know, when NECA was making these figures at the time, I think the new ones have stands, but this one does not have a stand, and it's so difficult to keep this guy, you know, upright. He's already fallen a couple times, and thankfully I caught it, because, you know, this thing falling down is going to be like a huge tower, you know, and it would just break, you know, and I'm afraid it would break, especially like his nose and everything, because it's so detailed. So you got to be careful with this. You know, there's a large figure, and it's very heavy, so if it falls, it might chip something, so you want to be careful. The thing is, there's no stand, unlike that Hot Toys figure that I just reviewed. Of course, it's in a flying pose, but Hot Toys is known to make stands, and this one does not. I'm sure I can buy a quarter scale stand or some kind of stand online, and that's probably what I'm going to do, being that we're trying to display this in a DTOF. So if we're going to have it in a cabinet, you know, obviously we're going to have to put a stand with this guy, or have him leaning back like the way I'm doing it like this. But the thing with that is, still there's a chance that, you know, if someone bumps into it, he'll just, you know, start falling forward, and that would be a big hazard. So that's my big gripe against this. But as far as detail and quality, you can already see how beautiful this is, and I'm going to get into everything in 360 view of it. I just want you guys to first get a quick look at this. So as you see, my lightsabers in the background. Let me get up close and personal with his face first. You can totally see, you know, all these details. I mean, look at his wrinkles. Look at the creases in his forehead. Look at the hair. The hair, they did really well. So let me just let you guys know that this hair is pretty malleable. So, you know, you can have, you know, it's like if you had like a large fan, I'm sure it'd be flowing in the wind. But it's very loose, and I like how they did that. They make it look really very real. They could have also gone with maybe like wig type material, but I think this looks a lot better. They did go for a cloth cape. So the material for this cape is very nice. I'm sure it's very similar to the Man of Steel one. And I like how one side of it is shiny, and then the inside of it is more cloth looking. So there's like more velvety, this is more silky. And it looks very nice. And I like how it just rests on his shoulders here with his shoulder pad. So that's the cool thing about a cloth cape. You can kind of, you know, move this around and, you know, display it the way that you like. You can see both sides don't have it displayed the same way. So you could just adjust it, or if you want it to look like that, you can do that, which is cool. This is not removable, but in the movie it is. Now he has that red inner lining, and, you know, this material is like plastic, but it has some malleability to it. So you can see that. Even the inside shirt I was talking about, which is cool. And even like this chest piece is not fully like strong plastic. It's got some give to it, which is cool. All of this armor feels the same. You can see here I can push my fingers against it. So that helps a lot if you do end up dropping this figure by mistake. You know, the details, you know, maybe the chipping of the paint might happen, but as far as breaking the plastic, you know, you probably won't break this part of the plastic. Now, his plastic, you know, his skin, his flesh is more of that rigid plastic, so that could end up chipping. But here, as we speak about that, you can see the veins in his biceps, the veins in his forearms. Very nice detail there. You could see even in his hands, look at all those veins. It's very, very detailed. And I wonder if they mapped it out the same way that, you know, Chris Hemsworth has his veins. That would be pretty interesting. But here, another malleable part here, the plastic. They could have gone with the cloth like they have in the movie, but I think in Thor: The Dark World is like this. There's a leather. The first one was a cloth material. And then of course we have Mjolnir, so we could get into the details with him. At him as if he's like a real person. But you could see the details in the hammer. This is very nice. And it's pretty easy to put it in his hand. Like, I just had to separate his fingers a little bit. And, you know, just slide it through, and it wasn't too bad. And then, of course, there should be some detail here at the head. As you can see that. And even in the, near the base of the hammer and all throughout. It's just very nicely detailed. So they did a good job with Mjolnir. As we look on the other side, it's pretty much the same. Instead of an open fist, we have a closed fist here. And of course, I'm going to get the back as well. I just want to try to get the front while I have him standing up. As you know, it's difficult to keep him standing. So here, you know, all of these things are not just painted, but sculpted in there. All these lines. And in his boots look really great. You can already see how it shines, that silver or a copper looking paint that they used. So very nice. I really like all this detail. It looks so great. And I'd put it over, I mean, I've seen Hot Toys figures in real life, and I've seen NECA, but these quarter scale, I guess because it's bigger, you can go with more detail. I mean, look at that. I mean, the shadow over his eyes, because, you know, there's a gap. You know, I mean, just like how real faces are, you know, the light, you know, shining over his eyebrows, and just everything about it is really cool. Even the shadows here. Like, the reason why I like doing reviews with just normal lights is because that's how you're going to see the figure. You're not going to have all these lights shining on them. And so that allows for you to see the shadowing effect of his chin covering his neck. So I think that makes it look even more realistic. It looks very nice. So again, his hair. Look at how beautiful his hair looks. He has his braid. Very cool. It looks so good. It already looks like it's flowing in the wind right there. Looks really great. And as I said, the cape is amazing. So we're going to just lift the cape. And we're going to take a look at the armor on the back. Hopefully he doesn't fall. So you could even see at his gauntlets, there's some red in there. All accurate to the movie, guys. So very nice. So let's focus in on this. So you could see his armor, and I didn't even notice he has like a blue skirt thing here. And the back of his boots. Very nicely done. And just to put even more, you know, give this figure even better comments. This thing has amazing articulation. So we'll get into that next, but I just want us to leave off with this, the fact that the detail here is almost like Hot Toys quality detail. I think it's really great. I love what they did with it. So let's get into the articulation. Now this is going to be difficult to do. So his head can move left and right pretty well. Can move a little bit up and a little bit down. Well, actually more down than up. So it looks down pretty well, and it looks up only that much. And I'm guessing if there wasn't that hair in the back, maybe he could look a little bit more. There's a little bit of a head pivot, very little bit. So his arms, and I like how it's like almost like ratchet joints, very strong joints, and that's important for a big scale figure like this, because if you do display him like that, eventually the gravity is going to wear down that joint. But being that it's a ratchet joint, it has less of a chance to be worn down, so it won't loosen up too fast. So that's the reason why I think they put in the ratchet joint, and that was a good choice. So it goes up that high up. I can, being that it's ratchet joints, the bad thing about it is you don't know how high it could get. So if you feel resistance, you're not sure if that's just the ratchet, or you feel like, or you might actually end up breaking it. So I don't want to do that. We're gonna go that high. Okay, so the bicep swivel we have, and that's no problem. We have a nice, about 90-degree, not so much because his bicep is huge, not a 90-degree, but a nice joint here, a single joint at the elbow with a hinge so it can move. All right, and we know the wrist moves left, moves around, and then goes in and out, which is nice. So very good articulation there. I don't believe it has a waist. Oh, it does. It has a waist cut, so you can move his hips left and right. Now, what's great about these figures, it has nice split action. So if you wanted to, he can kind of like do a really high kick right there. So it goes in and out very well. As far as up and down, his skirt kind of gets in the way. I didn't even see this detail. It looks like a zipper type material. It looks very nice. Goes in and out very well. It has a double knee joint, which is nice. You could see that there. Now, I'm not gonna, you can already see the joint. I'm not gonna do that because I don't want to loosen up the knees already, being that I'm gonna have him standing up straight anyway. There's no reason for me to bend the knee and break down that joint there. But as far as the ankles, it has great articulation, guys. So you have, oh, well, it has this boot cut, so it kind of does the articulation for me right there. But it goes up, down, and I also don't want to break this too much either and loosen it up. It goes left and right, like as you saw with the boot cut. And then it also has the pivot. Very small pivot. Now, I'm not going to wear out the joint either, but you can see it has that pivot there. So that does help a little bit with articulation and standing the figure up. But again, the risky thing about this figure, it's huge, so you know gravity is just gonna pull on it very strongly, and its own weight can end up collapsing itself. So that's the issue with this. So I'm probably gonna have to get a stand for this guy, but this thing looks so great. I love the detail, and I hope you guys like this review, and stay tuned for more reviews like this. I'm gonna have more quarter scale reviews coming up soon. I'm not gonna spoil you the characters, but you know, if you stay tuned, those are gonna probably come up within the next few weeks or so. So definitely the next one will be next week. But thank you guys for watching. Thanks for your support, and let me know what other reviews you guys want to see. And until next time, embrace, express, and enjoy yourself. May the force be with you always, my young Padawan.